So if you're getting into van life, you've kind of got two options. One is to get a pro build. The other one is to self-build. Now, if you pro build, then you have a company that has got a template of sorts and designs and ideas that have been thought about and refined, and they're good. And a little bit of this too. If you decide to self-build, that's going to be a little different. A lot cheaper this way, but not as professional done also, unless you're a tradesman yourself. What I would recommend to people is have an empty van, drive around in it for a couple of weeks, put a bag of clothes in it, a cot or a mattress, and a cooler, and learn what your habits are. Do you like to sleep at the back? Do you like to sleep at the front, on the side, this one or that one? Learn what your patterns and habits are, and then come up with what works for you. You might start with some cardboard boxes on the ground, tape them in position to get the size of if you want to have a cabinet here or a shelf there or the bed over there. So by doing these mock jobs, you put yourself in the position of really getting a scale of your space. What's your priority? Sleeping, kitchen, space, what is it? Everybody has something, and your priorities may change over time. So that's sort of the first rule to van life, is make sure your build you only do once. Or you self-build, do it on the down low, sort of with a limited budget, and when you finally get it refined to what you really like, what you're really comfortable with, then you go to a pro build and get guys who really know what they're doing to build it to that design. That's a kind of a third option, I guess. But there's no way to know what your patterns and habits are until you've been in a van long enough to know what they are. Because many people, myself included, have one idea when we get in, and over time, all of our priorities have shifted to different things in different ways. We go, I wish I had done this, wish I had done that. All that kind of stuff starts to happen. So that's what I would say. Go for a self-build, start off with zip, and then figure it out. Then when you're ready, either build it yourself or get someone professional to do it. That's tip number one. Tip number two, and this is getting into a slippery slope here, because let's face it, a van, it stands out in a certain way and it's got an image. And people think of it in a certain way, both the driver and the public. So having a van, if you want to make your journey as best as possible, I'd say being clean is a key component. Keeping the van clean and tidy, keeping yourself clean and tidy. There's an image connected to it, unfortunately, and some people don't think great about it. But on the other hand, it is gaining popularity, and more people are understanding van life quite a bit. So I would still stick to having a clean image, keeping yourself clean as much as possible, because you never know when that's going to work for you. Being clean with your van, being clean with yourself also means no garbage. Don't stay where you're going to have garbage around your van. Leave no tracks, just like camping, same thing. No tracks, keep it clean, keeps the whole image of van life in a better light. And that's important. Now, number three. Three, three, three. Three, respect. Respect the local laws, whatever those bylaws are. Remember, not all places agree or like van life. They don't, we're sketchy, we're gypsies in a way, and that's not necessarily viewed with a positive light to certain places. Being respectful of whatever the bylaws are, no parking restrictions, etc. Just move on, find a better place. Also, it comes to looking at how the police respond to you, because they're only doing their job. Being respectful of the police is important because they can be your friend or your foe. It's your choice. But by being respectful, you may be able to gain some tips. Ask them if you get the dreaded 3 a.m. knock and you open the door and they say, hey, you got to move along, buddy. Then you go, well, where can I move along to? Do you have some suggestions? Because a lot of police are now aware of the van life situation. A lot of people are moving into it not by choice in some cases, and they understand life has thrown some people some rough curveballs. So they're I wouldn't say they're sympathetic, but at least they're open-minded to a certain degree. So be respectful to the van, to the bylaws, to yourself, to those working the odd hours. Number four. Number four. Yeah, cool sound effect. Now, number four. When you're in polluted areas, let me rephrase that. When you're in populated areas, try to, what I do is I scope out where I think I'm going to be for the night. And I do it in daylight, so I get an idea of what the atmosphere is like. And then I arrive late at night, 10:30 to 11. I pull in, go to sleep. I'm gone at 6 in the morning. Leave no trace. Again, I'm in late, I'm up early, gone. So nobody really knows that I was actually there. So that's the practice that many that I know do. And the other practice is that don't sleep in the same place more than 2 nights in 7 days. So if you arrive on a Monday, do your next one Friday, and then don't return to that sleeping place for another week or two. Move around to other places in the city. It's just a better way for people to not feel like you're taking advantage of their neighborhood and things like that. So that's the principle I use. The late early principle. Arrive late, leave early. Next. Okay, this is a really interesting tip. I use it, and I know a few other people do it too. Wash your feet before you go to bed. Nobody knows the science behind it, but we will say you sleep great. Don't know why, it just works. Wash your feet before you go to sleep. That's it. Simple. The next tip is number 5, have a plant in your van. It doesn't matter if it's real or if it's fake. Have greenery. It shows good character. Now, you can have 2 plants. You can push the envelope with 3, but do not go to 4. 4 plants is just plain rude. Nobody likes that. Nobody. Now, on to the 7th tip. Having a van is in itself an adventure. What it shows is there's adventure in your blood. So pump it up. Live passionately. Be filled with zest. Make your move to enjoy everything you have to do. Because in the end, that's all you got. Joy or no joy. I vote joy. The next tip, inspiration. We all get it. If you slow the word down, you get inspire. It all comes from the inside. We all know about it. We all get it. Now you got to listen to it. It's there for a reason, so trust it and go with it. Follow your inspiration. Part 2 of inspiration is intuition. We all have that. You have it. I have it. Everyone else has it. And it's for a reason. Your intuition is always saying something. Trust that baby as well as your inspiration, and things will go a lot smoother. Listen. Learn to listen. Cultivate the ears on the inside. That's the ticket. And lastly, realize that you rock. That you rock and roll. You are an awesome being. You have consciousness that cannot be measured. That's phenomenal when you think about that. Science says our DNA comes from the stars. How's that for trippy? We're from the stars. We got infinite consciousness. That should be saying something. We got this intuition, inspiration thing that's telling us stuff, giving us our dreams, pointing directions, saying yes, no in different places. This is good shit. What that means is you make your own rules in life. And if you make your rules, you can change the rules. You can adjust the rules. You can break the rules. It's probably a good idea to contradict your own rules from time to time. So I say, why not even have any rules? Why not live a life filled with joy, filled with love, filled with adventure, and live with pure freedom? No rules. Just live in a way that your life is magic. And I think you can do it. All it takes is a van that is a Zen cave sanctuary on wheels, pumped and primed, ready to go on an adventure. To me, that's the ticket to life. That is the essence of van life. Freedom to express yourself in any way you want to. But at the core of all of it is, you be true to you. Those are my rules. Rules? No, those aren't my rules. Those are my guidelines, I'd say, my hacks, my tips, my perspective of van life and how it can be applied to anybody's life. So I hope something in there was important and made sense and inspired you in some way. And thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Cheers.
Well, today is World Nap Day. The weather outside's kind of skaggy, so I am going to have a nap. Wow, I didn't even move. I'm in the exact same position I was when I crashed. It's fantastic. Haven't had a nap that great in ages.
DNA says
Tips to hold the camera.